I guess, the tie-in with the voice, and then also, so I'm glad to hear that you would do that and try it out. We hope you do. We'll be there for you.
Okay.
But along with that, I guess along the way, you're so fiercely independent that you've rejected some offers from labels. So is it also because that striving for always kind of calling your own shots?
Yeah, it's not a plan to say no to a record label, but Atlantic and Universal, and then some bigger independent labels in New York approached me very early on, and then kind of midway through everything I've been doing. It's not a plan to say no. In fact, you're so excited about it, it's so flattering, you're just like, I cannot wait to sign this and brag about it. I have a lot of friends who've signed record deals that got shelved. If everybody remembers the Y store, I remember them signing their deal, and then I know those guys, and then it's just like the deal is that you get signed to a label. Pretend like it's Huntington Bank. It's a bank. They're signing you, they're basically giving you a loan. That's what it is. It's a loan, and then they decide, but it depends on how big the loan is as to your worth to them at that moment. And if the loan's not big enough, they can afford to take your original intellectual properties and set your stuff on a shelf. And you have no control after you've signed this deal. And then you wait and wait and wait for them to release your record. And not only release it, but put promotional money behind it, which they then charge to you. These deal sheets, oh no, and I think if I started a lot younger, I kind of started a little bit late. I remember sitting in an office at age 26 in New York with a guy, big hefty guy, balding man, who was probably 50 at that time, and he was like, oh, I love your music, that's awesome. And he goes, I think that if we do this, we should come out of the box saying you're 18. He said, I think you could pass for 18. And I was like, I'm 26. I think that's young, you know. It was sort of this, I just remember my heart kind of sinking. I remember feeling self-conscious. I remember feeling, when I talked to my friends, my guy friends who had been offered deals, it's like age was never mentioned to them. Looks was never mentioned to them. I never used being a woman in the music industry as a sad thing, crutch thing, but there are realities to the way the world perceives women, and how we all know. I mean, it's just like we're scrutinized in a way that has made me scrutinize myself too. Now, when I'm funny about photos and all that, to me now, I don't care, I just say it. If we respect one another, it's just like, you know what, if I don't look good in a photo, don't put it out there. It's just a way of being in control of my name and my reputation and that kind of stuff. But it's just a crazy industry, and I really ignore the fact that it's easier for guys usually. I mean, I learned that early on, but it is a different ball game for guys. Guys can look like they just rolled out of bed, and women, unless it's in a more alternative kind of raunchier, kitschier thing, most women, not all women, have a harder time being up in front of people. I mean, they have to have youth on their side, they have to have looks on their side, and they have to have an agent who is phenomenal. And so for me, staying independent wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go show them I'm gonna be independent. It's just like every deal just didn't look good. And I was actually disappointed at the end of each time that I was like, dang, I wanted to say yes, but I had to say, this isn't for me. Like, they're gonna stick me on a shelf. You guys know Patty Griffin? Anybody Patty Griffin fan? She's one of my favorite songwriters. She's married to Robert Plant right now.
Oh.
And she was on Atlantic Records right about the time they were kind of courting me. And she had already put out these wonderful records. Then she had this record ready to release, and they didn't release it. They put it on a shelf. They still own it. Maybe they've made a deal since then, but for 2 years, it's like 2 years of your life is going by, and you're like, those are my thoughts, and that's my voice, and this is my writing, and I can't release it. It's sort of like you're being hijacked. So kind of icky, and now it's easier to get out there by yourself.
It seems more amazing, the ones that actually get out there, right?
Yeah.
And then when I went through the same process in writing a book.
Yeah.
And I heard the same stories. Like they could sign you and then it never comes out, or
Yeah.
they could sign you and they never help you promote it, or
Right.
Yeah, so it's a matter of, do you just finally make that call, you know what, I'm going to get it out there
Yeah.
and do it. So we applaud you for that.